The Malaysian Ringgit has been on a tear recently, and as of the time that I'm recording this video, $1 is only 4 ringgit and 31 cents. I remember back in the day, some people were getting worried that $1 was going to be 5 ringgit, but here we are today. So in this video, I will cover why the Malaysian Ringgit is suddenly getting so strong and whether this is actually good for Malaysia or not. Let's get to it. By the way, as I was writing this script, I realized that it almost seemed like I was hard selling Malaysia. But to be clear, this video is not sponsored. I'm not trying to include any political content or anything like that in my videos. I'm just a Malaysian who is bullish on Malaysia, and I just want to share what I found out with you guys. So, in February and April of 2024, the Malaysian Ringgit hit a low of 4.8 ringgit for every $1. There are multiple factors that led to this. I'll cover some of them later on in this video, but one of the biggest ones was the interest rate differential between Malaysia and other countries like the US. Right now, the US has an interest rate of 5.25%, whereas Malaysia has an interest rate of only 3%. That's the OPR that Bank Negara Malaysia has set. The difference in these interest rates actually makes the USD stronger and the Malaysian Ringgit weaker. So generally speaking, the higher the interest rate you have, the stronger your currency will be. And yeah, in the US, it's over 2% more than in Malaysia. Just think about it this way. If you're an investor and you want to invest your money into fixed income, so let's say things like fixed deposits, government bonds, stuff like that, and you can choose between the US and Malaysia. In the US, you can get 5.25% a year, and in Malaysia, you will only get 3%. So obviously, most investors, they want the highest returns. They will go and invest their money in the US. But for them to do that, they'll have to sell the Malaysian Ringgit and buy USD so they can invest this money. And this, like I said, strengthens the US dollar because more people want to buy it and weakens the Malaysian Ringgit because more people want to sell it. Well, the opposite is happening right now because it seems like finally, the Federal Reserve is going to cut their rates. And it won't just be one cut, it's the start of a cycle, so people are expecting multiple rate cuts in the US. And this is one of the key reasons that the Malaysian Ringgit is now strengthening against the US dollar. It does seem like the differential in interest rates between Malaysia and the US will start to narrow. So, is it just a matter of the USD weakening? I'm already starting to see some people tweet things like, the Malaysian Ringgit is not actually strong, it's just that the USD is weak. And they're right, like I just explained, the USD is starting to get a bit weaker because people expect an interest rate cut. But I wouldn't say that's entirely true because when we look at the performance of the Malaysian Ringgit against other major currencies like the Euro, the GBP, the Yen, we are stronger than them this year. And we look at all of our regional peers in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Malaysian Ringgit has performed better than all of them in 2024. Based on this, it's obvious that it's not just about the US cutting their interest rates and the USD weakening. Obviously, that is helping, but there's more to it. So what else is there? One of the reasons that the Malaysian Ringgit is starting to show strength now is that it's been undervalued for quite a while. So just like any other asset out there, let's say stocks, we look at PE ratios and we say, hey, this stock has a low PE ratio, so it's undervalued. The same can happen to currencies as well. So many economists, they believe that the fair value of the Malaysian Ringgit against the US dollar should be anywhere between 3.9 and 4.3. So right now, we just hit the upper end of that level, which is 4.3. We're nearly there. Could we go to 3.9? Maybe. Who knows? There's no denying that, over the last few years, Malaysia has been a bit shaky, which led to the Malaysian Ringgit falling in the first place. But it kind of overshot where, there was too much selling, making the Malaysian Ringgit undervalued. And to me, this is down purely to investor confidence. When people start to lose faith in an asset, it can really sell off hard. And it's not just currencies, right? It's everything. It can be stocks, crypto, once you start having doubts, the first thing you want to do is sell. I remember back in the day, people were running polls on Twitter asking which one is coming first, $1 to 5 ringgit or $1 to 4 ringgit, and nearly everyone voted for 5 ringgit. And it wasn't just individuals like me, you, and those guys on Twitter, right? We can imagine that investors, companies, they all felt the same way too. And when an asset is so undervalued like the Malaysian Ringgit was, any slight sign of strength would lead to a pretty sharp rebound. And that brings me to my next point. A lot of local companies are starting to bring back their money from overseas to Malaysia and converting it to the Malaysian Ringgit. So many companies in Malaysia, they don't only sell to, other Malaysians, they also sell to foreign companies and foreign customers. So let's say this company, they sell a product in the US, they will receive payments in US dollar. That's normal. What wasn't normal is that a lot of these companies, when they received payment in US dollars, they didn't want to convert it back to Malaysian Ringgit and bring it back to Malaysia. Why? Like I said, If they didn't have confidence in the Malaysian ringgit, if they thought that it was going to just keep going down, then why not just hold on to the US dollar and see what happens next? But Bank Negara Malaysia started encouraging a lot of these companies to bring back their money to Malaysia and convert it to Malaysian ringgit. And I guess these companies started to think, what if I don't convert my US dollar at 4.8 and then it goes to 4.7 or 4.6 or, where it is today, 4.3? That is a big difference. Imagine, if a company had 10 million US dollars cash, the difference in, converting at 4.8 versus 4.3 is 5 million ringgit. This is serious money. So once the ringgit started to strengthen and confidence came back, a lot of these companies, they decided they're going to bring back their money to Malaysia, and this further strengthened the Malaysian ringgit. Anyway, moving on from all of these, currency trades and stuff like that, let's talk about what's happening in the Malaysian economy. So in recent times, Malaysia has gotten a lot of foreign direct investments, and the buzz right now is data centers. In fact, a study by Morgan Stanley showed that by 2035, Malaysia will have the largest data center capacity in the region by far. Amazon just launched their first ever data center in Malaysia as part of their $6.2 billion investment, and Microsoft also committed $2.2 billion to AI and cloud transformation. And it's not just the two of them, there's also a lot of other semiconductor and chip companies investing more into Malaysia. And it's not just these guys, there's also a lot of foreign fund inflow into the local stock market. Norway's sovereign wealth fund, which is the largest in the world, decided to increase their stock holdings in Malaysia, and it did buy a lot of banking stocks. That's probably why, the Malaysian banking sector has been going up so much. Stocks like Maybank, CIMB has literally been rocketing. Maybe it's just these guys. So all of these investments, from the Amazons, the Microsoft of the world, the Norway sovereign funds of the world, it does help strengthen the Malaysian ringgit. Because, if I want to invest in CIMB, what do I need? Malaysian ringgit. If I want to set up a data center here, what do I need? Malaysian ringgit. On top of that, our GDP has also grown by 5.9% in the second quarter of 2024. This is higher than what economists are expecting. And when a country is showing high GDP growth, other investors start to think, maybe Malaysia is not such a bad place to invest our money. I'm even starting to get a lot of recommendations on YouTube about, how Malaysia is finally going to be rich, hopefully, and how Malaysia is also going to be the next chip giant. These are all really positive things for our country. But enough about the economy. Is a strong Malaysian ringgit actually good for Malaysia? The obvious and easy angle is yes, because with a stronger ringgit, we can import things like an iPhone for cheaper, and we can all go on holiday to Indonesia, to Japan, whatever it is. We can then spend less because now the ringgit is stronger, right? But there's also a downside to having a stronger currency. Malaysia exports a lot of things to other countries, and when our currency strengthens, then it becomes more expensive for foreign customers. This will obviously mainly impact those companies that export a lot of things, but obviously, if it does impact them, then it does impact Malaysia's growth overall as well. For example, I trade a lot, so I do track the prices of palm oil in both Malaysia and China. So ever since the Malaysian ringgit started to strengthen against China's renminbi, the price of palm oil in Malaysia has actually fallen off by quite a lot. Let's say 1 ton of palm oil is 4,000 ringgit. That's what we want to sell it at. Back then, when our exchange rate was 4.8 ringgit to $1, it was only $833. Today, at 4.3, it's now $930. So those customers in the US buying in USD, they're seeing the price of palm oil in Malaysia going up by $100. So it's either we cut prices in US dollars so that it can match the old prices, or we accept that demand will drop. Having said all of this, I do still think that a stronger ringgit is a net positive for Malaysia, so let's hope it continues. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Where will the Malaysian ringgit go next? $1 to 4 ringgit or $1 to 5 ringgit? Anyway, thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Give me a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.